Hey YouTube, SodaCanMan1 here today, and today I'll be doing a somewhat mod guide on the Nerf Elite Demolisher 2-in-1. Well, this is a really nice blaster just to start out with, and it really, well, it's not the greatest blaster, but it has a few flaws that were easily fixable. So, I will not be opening up this blaster. You've been full warned. If you do not want a mod guide that you're not seeing what I'm doing, and if you can't follow directions well enough from what I'm saying, I suggest you click off the video. Sorry. So, first thing you'll need to do, which is a pretty basic one, is get one Trustfire battery and 3 regular AA batteries that are 1.5 volts. So, you have 3 of those AA batteries and one Trustfire, and that should easily bump up your range by around 15 to 25 feet, and it also is pretty nice. So, next thing you will need to do is, if you have to have your blaster opened up completely on this one, and you need to oil up all your parts that are moving right here, nowhere else. You don't need to be doing actually your trigger. No farther down from the trigger you should oil, because you might screw up something. But anything up here that you see the pusher rod, you need to oil it just to make sure it's least resistant to when you're firing. And pretty much you can fire it a lot faster just by doing the next step. Next step you'll need to do, you'll need a loose rubber band, not a rubber band that's really tight, one you can stretch very well, and make sure you have to do this on us. So what we're going to do is there's going to be a spring right here in your blaster. It's on the pusher rod. You'll need to take that spring off, and this is why you can't fire this blaster very fast. You need to take away that spring and put it off somewhere unless you want to put it back in later. Get a rubber band next and put it on there, and make sure it is tight enough that it can return the the rod back to its original place, and make sure it's tight enough. And then after that you need to hold down the rubber band, probably with your foot or something, and then close up your entire blaster before you're done, and then pretty much put the rubber band there, make sure it's all closed, and then you get wire cutters and come in and just snip away as far as you can. You can see my rubber band's kind of sticking out, and I suggest you put hot glue on it or something to make sure it's still in place. So after that, it's probably a lot easier to fire it. You can fire it probably a lot faster depending on how tight your rubber band is. Mine was not very tight, but it was still strong enough to move the pusher rod, so you can see it right here. Hopefully I'm getting enough light in there. Next thing you'll need to do, you'll need these little felt pads. You probably can find these on little door stubs, and what you'll do is you'll take one of these off and you'll put it right on the rod right here. And you might find this issue that where your darts will get stuck right here, like, your gun will sound really bad, and there's a dart jammed right here, and then you have to pull this door back and then push the dart back, and then try to fire it again. If that doesn't work, you have to completely take the clip out and take that dart out. So it's kind of really pesky. Next thing you'll need to do, there's this little felt pad that would be here, but I already took that out. You need to get pliers and pull all of that out completely to make sure your blaster will not get any jams, because that causes a lot of jams. It has no added effect to your blaster. It slows down how fast it goes in there anyway, so I suggest you take that out. Next thing you'll need to do, if you really like your thing right here, this will be good. Next thing you'll do is you have to open this up, I hate to say, and then there is a little plunger tube in here where the air comes from that you need to wrap the rod 5 times with plumber's tape or whatever that stuff is, that white little tape you can find threaded on pipes, and wrap it around the rod 5 times. Make sure your the O-ring is not on there, and then put the O-ring on and oil up the entire thing, including the O-ring and the barrel, the plunger tube, and then that easily gets you a good extra 5 to 10 feet in your blaster. Only if you do this. There is a piece right here you get to unscrew, just rip it out, sorry, unscrew is not the right word. You kind of just have to rip out this little semi-air restrictor, you could say, and then you pretty much have a much more cleaner airflow. Now, that is pretty much all for the mod guide, unless you want to do the next step, if you want to fire Elite Streamlines in this blaster, along with the missiles as well. What you'll do is, you will get a PVC tube that can hold regular Elite darts perfectly fine, and make sure it has a perfect seal on there, maybe a little tighter than regular, maybe hopefully not, you don't want it to have it looser or else it'll screw with your blaster. What you need to do is sand down the pipe and make sure it can slide in here effortlessly. So after it's in there, you need to put hot glue in here to make sure it has a seal on the front so you don't have air leaking throughout it. So then you can fire Elite Streamlines, and I will show you guys it is an unbelievably powerful blaster right here after you do all those mods. So next part, and to keep your stock, if you actually hit your stock like this, you'll realize that your stock will come loose and it falls off. To stop that, you will put a teeny bit of hot glue in here, not a whole lot. You can see from the side angle, you guys can see that, not a whole lot of hot glue. It doesn't take a lot. So I will stop this and I'll do a firing. Okay, now for a firing test. Alright, now let's test out that little front barrel, the dart. You probably can't even see it, it fires so hard. Oh, I hate when that happens. You get to spin it in because my barrel's a little bit tight. But anyway, it's pretty powerful. And it fires very, very straight, which I really do like about it. And I will fire a rocket, just to show you guys. It does improve by maybe like a 5 to 10 feet. Not a whole lot, but I think it's really cool when you put a dart in there. That was a really bad shot, but anyway, it's still a really nice mod, and I really think I got a lot of the big flaws in this blaster, and I actually really do like this blaster now. And that is my mod guide for the Nerf Elite Demolisher.